Welcome to Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast, where we bring you news, notes, and more to help you win your championship fantasy football league. Stay tuned and listen in for the great information we have for you today. To another episode of Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast. Woo!
I'm glad I'm back.
Me too. Oh shoot, I forgot something.
Oh what?
Hold on.
Oh gosh. Oh. Slacking over here.
Something simple. Hold on.
Oh.
Hold on.
How's your guys' day?
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Wait.
You settled?
Yeah, okay, I just killed
You're
30
good?
seconds.
You good?
I ain't hot. Well, I am hot, but I'm not hot. So we're going to start doing our game recap. Usually we record half and half, but we had to go buy a couch yesterday, so that took us some time, so moving on.
We're moving up in the world,
I only got a couch.
Little by little,
Years later, seems like.
Well, let's start off with the Thursday night game, obviously, because that's what starts off the whole week.
Fire it up.
Marcus Mariota, 306, 1 touchdown, but 4 interceptions. With only a 4.7 fantasy. I don't know. That, not like Mariota, but, that's Pittsburgh's defense. They've kind of been stepping up lately. But you got DeMarco Murray, your 10 rushes, 6 targets, 5 receptions for 37 yards, 4.7. Not great. Derrick Henry was barely involved at all, 32 rushing yards. Rashard Matthews, 6 targets, 5 receptions, 113 yards. So 1 touchdown. Got you that 1 touchdown.
Yep. But he's been the best receiver there so far, hands down.
Yep. And then Delaney Walker got involved too. 9 targets, 6 receptions for 92 yards.
Dropped a touchdown.
That cost
Dropped
a
a
lot.
wide open touchdown.
Oh, so him and Julio have something in common.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
Interesting.
Anomalies. Now, down to the Steelers. Big Ben, 299. 4 TDs. For some reason, got 10 rush yards. He's trying to save his own life. But 29 fantasy points. Rock solid. If you started Big Ben, you were really happy with the performance. Slow start at the beginning. Picked it up in the second half. So, that was awesome. Le'Veon Bell gets you 19.3 fantasy points. But, man, it's not pretty, 46 rushing yards. 9 receptions on 11 targets with 57 yards. It's basically the PPR league. The only reason that you even survive is because of the receptions.
Yep.
Now we got the stud of the studs here. Antonio Brown, 13 targets, 10 receptions, 144 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns.
That's what killed me.
He has one of those every year.
That's what killed me.
He's crazy. He's an assassin. But if you're a Juju owner, you're a little disappointed. 4 for 47, 8 targets though, but no touchdown this week. So
I think he'll do pretty well next week against Green Bay, and it's at home in Pittsburgh. So
perhaps that is a good possibility. That could definitely happen. Jesse James got involved.
he did.
5, 21, a touchdown, wide open touchdown. They should really learn to use him. Turn him into the Jimmy Graham of the world. Talk about him later as well. But Chris Boswell, kicker performance, 18 points. Killed it.
Dang. Yeah.
Made all the field goals he could have possibly ever want to make.
Seriously.
And then some.
Seriously.
Nice. We'll close that for the Thursday night game. We'll go to Jacksonville, Cleveland.
What can you say, man? The Jacksonville Jaguars somehow find ways to win.
They do. Blake Bortles, well, you weren't really invested in him, so you're not really mad. 154 and a touchdown, so he didn't really do much, but he didn't kill the game for the Jaguars, which is all they want. It's all they ask for. And he has like some crazy TD to interception ratio that's actually pretty good. So, Leonard Fournette, 111 yards. How many rushes? 23, something like that.
Rushing yards?
No, the attempts.
He got. There's no. It doesn't show on here.
I thought you were on the ESPN page.
No, I'm on the.
Oh, go to the ESPN page.
I don't have the ESPN page. I can go on NFL.
Whatever.
I'll go on the
Whatever.
NFL app.
Go on that.
I mean, I can too.
Lack of the use of resources. Lack of the use of resources. Oh, crazy kids these days. That's alright. We'll train you.
I know, right?
Mercedes Lewis keeps finding something happen though. He's the one that's getting the touchdowns. 26 touchdown. 2 receptions
I don't know, man.
on 2 targets, 26 yards and a touchdown. It's
I
crazy.
don't know. Somehow
Crazy.
he finds a way too. I don't
And
understand.
the irony of it all is the kicker they let go is the kicker that won them the game. Oh,
Right.
sorry, Chargers. Chargers let Lambeau go. Lambeau wins in the game versus the Chargers. Or not for the Chargers. Wait, who's that? That was last week,
It
sorry.
was last week, yeah.
Yeah.
Lambeau.
Last week they won the game. I'm
Yeah.
tripping.
You tripping?
Who did they play this week?
Yeah,
again?
lack of resources. Come
Lack
on.
of resources. That's a lack of memory, though. Resources are there, the memory is not. I remember it right, just not the right week.
A little slow there. He was on 28 attempts. Leonard
Yeah,
Fournette was.
that's
For
fine.
111 yards.
That's fine.
It's not bad.
That'll work. Nice. Well, let me open that up for the Cleveland side of things real quick. Nobody's good. Duke Johnson, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 56 yards, and a receiving touchdown.
I
That's
mean,
basically it. You know, I mean, you can look at Corey Coleman, 6 for 80, so he's involved.
he came back with the vengeance.
Off the injury.
Yeah, so
7 targets.
they got him well involved.
Here's the thing. Everybody else is doo-doo.
Yep.
Doo-doo. You're not going to rely on them for your fantasy playoffs or towards the end. If you need wins, you're not relying on Cleveland for that or any of their players. Unless maybe Corey Coleman if you're super desperate, but then you got to rethink your life.
Yep.
So, now let's move into Chicago, Detroit. Matt Stafford, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 fumble, but you'll take the 18.3 fantasy points. Man. And he gives
At the beginning of this, I was sitting there going, wow, Chicago looks like they might win. Because, I don't know, the last couple weeks, Detroit's been getting off on a very slow start. But Matthew Stafford somehow, some way, that's why he got paid the way he got paid, because he just finds ways also to win.
He does. The division's
Crazy.
tough, though. Vikings.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving. This
Ooh.
Thursday.
that's going to be a fun one.
But in Detroit, though. Detroit plays well on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
In Motor City. But you got Amir Abdullah, crappy 22 rushing yards. Terrible. But he had 2 targets, 2 receptions, 13 yards, and a receiving touchdown. So, bailing Stafford out. That's good.
Very good.
Yep. So,
Yeah,
using the
Marvin
receiving
Jones.
game at least ups his value, but man, you don't want. He should not have to be touchdown dependent, but he's very touchdown dependent for fantasy relevance. So that sucks. Marvin Jones stays hot, 4 of 7, 85 yards and a touchdown.
Saved me in a couple leagues. But, I got blown out in one, but then...
Yeah, I took a loss in the other one there, so this guy got me.
It's all good.
It's such is life, though. But hey, on a plus note, 9 straight wins. I'm fine with that.
Yo, you came back. That was pretty good, dude.
Lost my first 2 in that league, 9 straight. That's it's life. It's life. It's fine. When you lose in one part of life, you win in another.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
hey, it's fine. Kenny Galladay showed back up a little bit, 252, getting involved in an awesome catch down late in the game. Catch down there and late in the game, so that's set him up for a game-winning opportunity. So, hey, ballin'.
Right?
And no one else. What happened to Golden, man? What's going on with him? 3 of 32? I don't understand. Game flow?
I don't know. It's either the play calls that they're giving out or something, but they got some pretty decent wide receivers that they could be using to destroy teams, but I don't know
Matt
if
Stafford's
play
been
calls.
conservative. I don't know what's
Tim
the play call.
Caldwell,
But let's go down. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
Mitch Trubisky, huh?
Tell me something about him.
179, 1 touchdown, and 53 rushing yards. Not bad. Gave you about 14.5 fantasy points or so.
Yo.
I was listening to some of the radios today, and this is a station that actually talks about more than just the Cardinals, but they're saying if Mitchell Trubisky has wide receivers, you look pretty good. I mean, he's doing it with not that great of wide receivers right now, and he's keeping his team in the game. Because, you already got a running back that's great, Jordan Howard, 125 rushing yards, not bad, rushing touchdown, gave you 18 and a half fantasy points or so, not bad at all. Cohen showed up a little bit, 44 rushing yards, one also rushing touchdown. 6 targets though for 4 receptions and for 15 receiving yards. Not bad, gave you about 12 fantasy points, not so good, that's not so good. And your tight end, I guess Adam Shaheen,
Yep.
I guess. 4 targets, 4 receptions for 41 yards, and also a touchdown. So, I mean, let's go back. It's a rushing, so not that bad. Other than that, I mean, Mitchell Trubisky, I mean, like I said, if he has a good team, you make him look good, man. You bring the Bears back.
Truth.
So.
Trey Cohen got re-involved again. A rushing touchdown. Also had 4 receptions on 6 targets, 15 yards, and 44 rush yards. So, up and down with that man. Baltimore, Green Bay. I'll talk about the Ravens.
Yeah, you should.
Woo!
Let's go.
Joe Flacco did throw a touchdown, but only had 183 yards, which is crazy because there's been a lot of 100-yard games here, which is weird. 100 just sub 200-yard games, which is kind of weird. But some of these people they won it. I don't know how it works. But yeah, so 9.2 fantasy points for Flacco. But Collins on 20 rush attempts though, it was terrible. 49 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, but he had 4 receptions for 22 yards on 7 targets. So, being involved in the passing game ups his fantasy value. Even with Danny Woodhead back, who did play, he got 5 receptions for 21 yards. Seeing that he's still getting 7 targets is big for Alex Collins.
Yeah, as of right now, Danny Woodhead is just kind of getting acclimated back into the game. So he's not really going to be involved as much. But Alex Collins still kind of has a safety spot as of right now. He is showing up. So he is showing his coaches that he can still play good. But Joe Flacco, there needs to be more, dude. There needs to be more. I mean, you're a champion, bro. You need to step up your game.
Word.
It's kind of crazy to see that out there.
Word. Mike Wallace 4 for 4, 56 and a touchdown, 15.6 fantasy points. You're not bad about that if you have Mike Wallace. You just kind of take it for what it is, yo. Take it for what it is. Justin Tucker, 11 fantasy points. He's good. Going down to the Green Bay Packers. Jamal Williams, also a relatively inefficient day. I believe it was 22 rushes or something like that for 57 yards. And he caught 4 receptions on 6 targets for 38 yards. So he got you 13.5 fantasy points. Would not have ruined your week. I even could have used him and would have done better than who I had at Kenyon Drake and Flex. But, such is life.
Well, I mean, if he's still on the waiver wire, I'd pick him up because Aaron Jones is no longer going to be, I think, part of the team. What I was told was he got in trouble, so...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Jamal Williams for days then. Jamal Williams for days.
Yeah, I think Aaron Jones got in trouble.
Was he injured anyway?
I'm not sure. I know I got an update on it where he got arrested or something like that. There's some allegations or something like that he got in trouble for.
Crap. Well, you find that. I'm going to talk about Devontae Adams here, who is the only receiver you can trust on the Packers, who again performs. 10 targets, 8 receptions, 126 yards. The only one Hundley finds ever. Everybody else, Cobb and Jordy, I even dropped Jordy in some of these. I've moved on. If you have to, you need a spot for some people who actually produce. That's what you got to do.
You have to, man.
Yep. Now, I'll go Cardinals, I'll go Texans. So I'm going to do some rapid fire real quick. Blaine Gabbert pulled out 19 points as fantasy points, 257 and 3 touchdowns. Also had 2 picks. But, he didn't kill your week. He would have been usable and suitable if you had needed him. Because, again, usually around 15 to 18 is the average for a quarterback in a non-6 or a 4-point per touchdown lead. So I mean, with 25 yards per pass or per passing yard as well. I think it's the standard stats. But so you weren't mad at that. You weren't mad at what he did, and he got Larry Fitzgerald involved, 9 for 91 and a touchdown.
Always going to be involved. Now,
and Ricky Seals-Jones, I don't know if he's someone.
This guy, Ricky Seals-Jones.
Yeah, what about him?
He actually came up on the practice squad with Blaine, so they kind of have a chemistry.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to start using him more often. Now he's considered a wide receiver on here, but he looks more like a tight end. Now if he's going to be balling out pretty good, he's going to beat out a spot between John Brown and Jerron Brown.
They haven't really been playing well anyway.
Not at all.
Or J.J. Nelson. So we'll see what comes of him. Look out for Ricky Seals-Jones in the future. See what happens.
Yeah.
Houston Texans. Tom Savage didn't ruin the day. Had 230 yards, 2 TDs, 1 pick, 1 fumble. But, I mean, 13.5 fantasy points is good for Tom Savage. I mean, better not see from him ever.
Right.
And he helped keep DeAndre Hopkins involved, who had 4 for 76 in a touchdown. Bruce Ellington got involved, 6 for 63 on 7 targets. So, people are making moves out here. People are making moves, and you're not mad at that. Now you got Lamar Miller, who had 61 rush yards, 4 targets, 22 receiving yards, and a receiving touchdown. Nice, 18.3 fantasy points. But Foreman, who left with an injury but had 65 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, and then still was in the passing game, 3 for 3 for 15 yards. Crazy.
Yep.
Crazy. So, if Foreman was in there, I'd say, Miller, watch out, your workload's getting cut in, but because he left with that injury, he's probably not going to come back this season. That's basically the Marmite show. So that workload, we'll have to get him into fantasy production some way, somehow. He'll be going, 15 or 20 for, 45 yards, he'll find his way to the end zone.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Exactly.
You are not completely mad at that, but you're not happy with it either. Redskins, Saints.
Man, this was a shootout, man.
This was a good game.
And both quarterbacks actually put up
I'll
good
let you talk to the Redskins. I'll take the Saints half.
Okay, cool. I got Kirk Cousins, 322 yards with 3 touchdowns.
There you
and
go.
he put in some running yards for 11 yards.
Yeah.
P. Ryan. He's going to be the new guy because I'll get to this guy next. But P. Ryan got 117 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 2 targets. For 1 reception on those 2 targets for 9 yards. Now, Chris Thompson... this one hurts a little bit, but gonna have to move on. It's life.
Told you he's too fragile to be a main back.
Broke his right fibula, which sucks. Still gave you 9.5 fantasy points. He did 17 rushing yards, 1 receiving catch for 16 yards, and also a receiving touchdown.
Yeah.
Not bad.
No.
You got Ryan Grant, kind of stepping up a little bit. 3 targets, 3 receptions, 59 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. Gave you about 12 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Josh Doxson also kind of showed up a little bit. 4 receptions on 7 targets for 81 yards. Not bad. Can't complain about that. Jameson Crowder. 7 receptions on 8 targets.
Yeah.
Not bad at all for 72 yards. Wish you can get a little bit more, but I mean, there's always another day. Always another day.
Sorry, make some adjustments.
Nick Rose, kicker, gave you 7 points. They are people too, you guys. He did pretty good. He made all of his attempts, so
can't
complain about that.
You can't. Now, let me get into some Saints. Drew Brees had to make some comeback plays here, make that comeback win happen. 385, 2 TDs, 1 INT, 21.6 fantasy points. Again, far from mad at that, especially in a 6-point per touchdown league and a 1 point for 20 yards league. So that increases those stats dramatically.
Oh yeah.
Alvin Kamara, I mean, this is a 2-headed system, the most efficient one I've ever seen.
Crazy.
25.6 fantasy points, 42 rush yards, 6 receptions on 9 targets, 74 receiving yards, and 1 score. Now, we got Mark Ingram, just as involved, 134 rush yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 3 receptions, 21 yards.
It's awesome, man.
Crazy!
It is awesome.
It is.
I love Mark Ingram right now. It's helping me out every step of the way.
Good job.
Every step of the way.
I like it.
Thank you, Jake.
I like what you're doing. You're welcome, Corey. So, but Michael Thomas, still involved. Still finds a way to get it done. 6 for 91. He's the most consistent person. I'm in 2 leagues. I love it.
You need
He's
that.
consistent every week. If he would get touchdowns, he'd be number 1 wide receiver.
Right? Yeah.
He'd be not the number 1 because Antonio Brown's so ridiculous. The number 2 wide receiver.
Right?
It's crazy.
No, Michael Thomas needs to be catching those touchdowns first.
Drew Brees is going to start looking his way. So, and Corey Fleener finds his way, 5 for 91. For some reason, he finds his way places. Don't get it. Never will. Will Lutz, 16 points, awesome kicker. Very consistent, and they're always going to be in contention for field goals. So, that's just how it rolls when you got a team that's offenses on a ridiculous level right now.
It's awesome to see.
Levels beyond what I've ever seen them. So, now, our next game. Let's go Kansas City, New York.
Well, in a way, I would be really happy about this, but my team we'll get to in a little bit. But I guess I'll do the Chiefs because they're in my division.
This will be the better team,
right? Alex Smith, 230 yards with 2 interceptions though. He also did run a little bit, 27 yards. Kareem Hunt obviously came down to earth and stayed there. 73 rushing yards, 4 targets, but only caught 3 and for only 4 yards. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Wow. And, well, what can you say? Travis Kelce, your other good target out there.
Always.
8 receptions on 14 targets, though, for 109 yards. Can't really complain about that. Tyreek Hill also involved. Caught 100%, 7 receptions on 7 targets for 68 yards. And Butker, your kicker, made 3 field goals and got you 9 points.
Doing things. Let me tell you about these not-so-giants. Eli Manning struggles 205 with no touchdown but no turnovers. But that didn't help anything because that ruined it for all the receivers you can possibly use. Evan Ingram struggled. You only had 1 catch for 9 yards. Not great performance against somewhere that he could have been easily balling out, but with Eli Manning struggling, the Lions struggling, everything was just bad news. Orleans Darkwood, 74 yards and a rushing touchdown, and 2 on 4 targets to 16 yards receiving. So he's involved. He's the main guy. I mean, he had 20 attempts, so, the workload's there because the next closest was Wayne with 6.
You have a charger? Sorry, guys. My computer's about to die. Gotta keep it alive. Gotta keep it alive.
It's down here. I got it.
Oh,
plug it in back over there.
okay. Well, I can get it. Oh my gosh. It's okay.
Oh my god! Got him. So we'll move on from these guys. They're not really starting anybody other than Orleans Darkwa, and then Evan Ingram. You can go ahead and fire back up. Without Sterling Shepard, they look pitiful. All right, I'm speed blast his next game.
Gotta save him.
Tampa Bay, Miami. Ryan Fitzmagic pulls off some craziness, 275 and 2 touchdowns.
That was awesome. That was cute.
Fitzmagic?
Yeah. I usually call him Fitzpatrick, though.
I don't know why. You don't know Fitzmagic from the New York days with him and Eric Decker when they were going out with Decker, Brandon Marshall, where they were going off? You didn't pay attention to football then. That's alright. That's why you lost fantasy that year. I didn't say what makes sense. Mike Evans back though. He's got him involved. 5 for 92. Should have had him on a touchdown.
Should have.
But overthrew. So Fitzmagic isn't on every play. But Deshaun Jackson did get the touchdown 2 for 28 and a score. 10.8 points. 14.2 from Mike Evans. Beautiful.
What is up with this, man?
O.J. Howard.
What is up with that?
Here we go. Off and on, he gets found. 3 for 52 and a reception touchdown. Cameron breaks with nowhere.
Why?
So, who knows? There's nothing. Never going to know. Patrick Murray. 12 points. Good job for you. Kickers this week. We're pretty good overall.
Keeping the teams involved.
We're in Miami with Matt Moore.
Ugh.
Jay Cutler left. He wasn't doing that well anyway. He had 3 INTs, so
Oh my god.
he had a touchdown, but 3 INTs. The classic Jay Cutler that you like to, that you usually would see, not like to see, but usually see.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt Moore in relief after Cutler went out with concussion, threw for 282 yards and a touchdown, and 180 of those yards went to Kenny Stills. He always finds Stills. Stills gets his touchdown when Matt Moore is in. So if Matt Moore plays this week, put down Parker, put in Stills.
I mean, but is Matt Moore going to be playing it?
Jay Cutler's probably not going to come back anytime soon in the concussion protocol.
I mean,
He's a buttercup.
if you can find Kenny Stills on your waiver wires,
He's
or
in the
free
waiver wire in
agency,
a lot of places.
you'd be able to pick him
Everywhere.
up. Think so?
Sandwiches.
Yeah?
I don't even know. So let's go to Jarvis Landry, baby. We'll start with him. He's got 19.5 points, 6 for 95 in the score. He's finding the end zone.
Always.
I don't get it. You know, Jay Cutler and him have the connection, so they find the end zone together. It's just interesting, you know.
Didn't I say Jarvis Landry was going to have more touchdowns than Devontae Parker?
I don't know. Did you?
I believe so.
I don't think you did, but maybe you did. You got 7. I said 7 for 80 and 1 touchdown, but I never said the stats. 31 fantasy points for Kenny Stills. 31.
That's, let's see.
31.
He was 3rd overall on.
It's crazy that he's got 31. He's 3rd overall.
He's 3rd overall underneath Keenan Allen,
Keenan. We'll get to him in a moment, actually.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Antonio Keenan.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There have actually been some good receivers up this week. It's been kind of a wacky, wild week, but you know we'll get there. So, all right, let's get underway. Let's pull up. Oh, baby. Let's do the LA Rams and the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
I'll let you talk about the Rams.
Well, this was a really weird week for Jared Goff. Not unusual signing of him this year, but he did still throw 225 yards. And he also did run a little bit, but only for 8 yards. 9, 10 fantasy points. You'd wish you get more. Todd Gurley got you 37 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 3 receptions for 19 receiving yards. Not bad. Robert Woods also came down to earth. 8 receptions on 11 targets for 81 yards. Sammy Watkins barely involved whatsoever. 3 receptions on 4 targets for 36 yards. And it dies from there. So,
Lame.
yeah, nobody else got involved.
Well, people were involved with the Vikings. Case Keenum playing well, 280 and 1 touchdown, 17.2 fantasy points, because he also had 20 rushing yards. So, solid for him. Case Keenum playing very well, keeping the Vikings floating heavy. I mean, it's
Shipping on that
ridiculous.
sail.
Yeah, they are that boat, that new stadium. Beautiful. Got them moving, got them rolling. Who's else got rolling? Latavius Murray, 95 rushing yards, 2 rushing TDs. What?
Yeah.
He's figuring it out, man. They got him going the right way. Doing what Oakland could barely do with him. He's had good games at Oakland, but he's having a better season here. There's no pressure on him. So,
There isn't.
no, I mean, it's just, Case Keenum's playing well. It's opening up opportunities, and it just is what it
Opens
is.
up the running game.
And, he's taking most of the carries from McKinnon, I believe. So,
Yeah.
there you go. It's just the life that it is. I mean, McKinnon does get 11 points because he has 5 receptions, and then he has 12 yards, not a lot of yards, but he also has 48 rushing yards. So he's involved, getting there, not left out. And the man who's beasting, Adam Thielen, 6 for 123 and a receiving touchdown. Thank goodness I still beat Jake. So that's how I was going to lose after I thought Thielen go off. Like, well, I had a good run, but
Adam
Thielen still pulled out.
Adam Thielen is a baller.
Word. Kyle Rudolph 5 for 58. I'm surprised he didn't have more. He just found wide open everywhere. I mean, he was everywhere wide open when I was
They give
watching
him the
that.
love.
Doesn't even make any sense. Ooh, we're flying through these.
Let's go to this crazy game. Buffalo and Chargers.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Keenan Allen in a minute. We will. Let's talk about the pitiful performance, though, of Nathan Peterman, who gave up 5 interceptions, negative 6.8 points. I mean, the worst first half performance I've ever seen because those picks came with 9 passes or whatever.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah.
9 passes, 5 of them were interceptions.
And the coach of all people, I don't disagree with my decision. I only disagree with the results. Like, really, bro? Really? Why would you do that? Why would you put in a rookie 5th rounder of all that over Tyrone Taylor? Exactly. If they can see your case.
That's doo-doo, baby.
Right? Well, then Tyrone Taylor jumps in and does what he's supposed to do for his team. That's 158 yards, 1 touchdown.
I lied. It was on 6 attempts, 5 of them were interceptions.
Oh my gosh.
That is even worse.
Yeah.
Or no, it was 14 completions, yeah. Out of the completions, not attempts, sorry, y'all. Out of the completions, 5 of them were... Wait, which way does it go? It was. I was right the first time.
You were right the first time.
Yeah, I'm doing the math. I'm sitting chipping.
It's been a long day.
Oh, man. What am I doing with my life?
I know. It's alright.
So 6 completions out of 14 attempts. Oh my gosh, that's so bad.
That's terrible. That's like literally saying, hey, here's the team. Hey, team. Hey, here.
He had almost the same amount of completions to the other team as he did to his team.
His own team. I know. He only had 66 yards. That's it.
What a nightmare.
I know. But then
in relief, Tyrod Taylor comes in, rushes for a touchdown, normal. Passes for a touchdown, awesome. You know, you're happy about that. And LaShawn McCoy gets involved with all that nonsense. Because he has 114 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 reception, 12 yards for the receiving touchdown that Tyrod Taylor threw. So he was all over the map as well.
Yep.
The 2 studs that you should be able to rely on were there. So in relief, if Tyrod Taylor played the whole game and played the half like he did, he'd have 36 fantasy points.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had 18 through that second half.
Yep.
I mean, you guys blew it. Zay Jones got involved. Travaris Cadet got involved. 6 of 6, 39 yards. Blah, blah, blah. 50 rush yards.
If you're a Kelvin Benjamin owner,
like
me, he did leave like the very first game, the very first like play. He got 1 target for 1 reception for 20 yards, and he got carted off with a knee problem.
Yeah.
And
escaped though.
He escaped it. He avoided an ACL tear, so he might not even play next week. But like I always say here on our beautiful podcast, always look up at your updates, your game logs, everything. Make sure you get the updates.
Especially because we won't be doing a podcast tomorrow. We got vacation, so the rest of this week we're only doing 1 this week. So
sad, but you know what? We gotta live our lives too, you know.
Yeah,
but
we do.
We're always gonna come back as long as you guys got us. We got you. I mean, that's just how it is, you know.
Is that how it is?
Yeah, it's a family. So it's like, yeah, we won't be able to see you for a couple days, but hey, guess what? We'll be back next week. It's all good. It's all good.
We will be back next week.
It's all good. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it.
Maybe we'll have microphones too for Black Friday.
Ooh.
Sometime next week.
Might see a new setup. You don't know. Maybe it's a surprise.
Yeah, I gotta figure out the MIDI stuff with that, but we'll get there. So let's go down to the Charger part of this game.
Let's check
Philip
that out.
Rivers, you know what I'm saying? When I get rid of him, 251, 2 touchdowns, you know, he's just there says F Jared, but it is what it is, you know? And you know, they really said that by giving 12 receptions, 159 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Finally, to Keenan Allen, who I benched him. Oh my goodness, because he hasn't done that yet.
Oh, and you could have beat me.
I would have roasted you. But I made a mistake, and that's my fault. I ruined it. But he was the receiver of the day there, man. He was... I mean, he was crazy because they had great field position thanks to Peterman, and man, they capitalized for once. When they actually capitalized, Chargers could play well, and their defense was swarming all over the place.
Well, they were like freaking getting easy. It was like basketball out there.
Well,
even buckets.
It was, and they were so hyped up. They even late in the game they were swarming. They got that defensive touchdown.
Just gotta keep it going.
I mean, they got 2 defensive touchdowns in that game, so you know it's crazy. But Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler were both involved. Both scored touchdowns, 80 80 rushing yards and a touchdown for Gordon. 40 rushing yards, 1 rushing TD for Eckler. More in garbage time though, and 2 receptions for 18 yards.
Yep.
So, but they're not going to lighten Gordon's workload. So if you have Melvin Gordon, you should probably have Eckler as your backup.
Easily. If you can find him, get him. Definitely gets you points. Nick Novak, though, the kicker for the Chargers, I would say this is more kind of like a fluke than anything else. Because the Chargers, this whole year have been kind of struggling to actually score and get points. So, 18 fantasy points for the kicker. But if you really want to go with him, I'll accept
Kicker's
it.
good though, because in a game like this is exactly what the Saints do. They're even if they can't score, they get in the field goal position. It's all about just getting in the field goal position.
Right.
So if the Chargers play like this, they can easily be in field goal position all the time.
Honestly, like no one talks about it, but in that division, if the Chargers continuously start winning more games, and the Chiefs start losing, and the Raiders continuously will start losing if they continue to keep doing the things they're doing, and the Broncos going to their, actually, news today, their third quarterback starting is Paxton Lynch.
He's actually
going to start. He's actually going to start. They actually benched Brock Osweiler. As y'all know, don't like him. Don't like him. But, yeah, so if they all continuously start losing and the Chargers keep winning, they can win this division. As long as Phillip Rivers can keep his team going, they can have a chance to actually win the division. But a lot of people are still saying
the Chiefs
Chargers
fall off makes it easier.
Yeah, but they're saying that the Chiefs are still going to start winning games, but I don't know. They've lost.
They will. They'll figure it out. Now, let's get to this next game. Cincinnati, Denver. Speaking of Denver. So, let's start with the Cincinnati side. Andy Dalton had 3 touchdowns on the day. 154 yards. Again, I don't understand where these low yardage, but these touchdowns, like the efficiency,
don't know
low
either.
yard production is crazy.
Don't know either because it's scratching my head.
Yeah,
too.
it's what happened. It was happening all weekend. 18.6 fantasy points. AJ Green again was a beneficiary to Andy Dalton's somehow his 150 yards. He had a third of those, 50 on 4 receptions and a touchdown. So it's ridiculous. Alex Erickson 242 and a touchdown. No idea who that even is.
Right.
But you played football, or plays football, so okay, good for you. Had a great catch in the end zone.
Yeah.
So
Tyler Kroft.
Tyler Kroft was all right. I mean, you know, got the touchdown, but kind of left with a hand injury for a little bit.
Ooh.
So, you know.
They should put Brandon LaFell there, get more points, because apparently he's not getting anything.
Word. Brock Osweiler now. Let's go to the Denver side. 254 and 1 touchdown. That touchdown went to Demaryius Thomas, who had 5 of 64 and then the receiving touchdown. 17.4 fantasy points. Brock Osweiler 14.6. Devontae Booker involved. 44 rushing yards, 5 receptions, 54 receiving yards, 14.8 fantasy points. You like that. He was running well. Let's see here. You have your phone up. Alright, I'll go.
What?
I'll go look and see what his rushing attempts were. I don't remember what his rushing attempts were.
Devontae Booker?
Yeah, dog.
Devontae Book, yeah.
Yeah, dog. But then Emmanuel Sanders, quiet day. You know, if you started him, you're really disappointed. 2 for 15. Yuck. I mean, there wasn't really a lot after Demaryius. C.J. Anderson was 37 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, but he also fumbled. I mean, it just didn't look overall great for him as far as that goes. Devontae Booker has 14 rushing attempts, 14 carries. So, and that means he's getting involved because C.J. Anderson only had 13 carries. So.
And a fumble, so they probably said, well, we'll get more options to Booker.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked at the better back overall for the last couple of weeks. Corey won't admit it, but it's kind of the truth. Sorry, Corey. Facts are facts.
Jamal Charles, I think he's going to find a new home soon. He probably doesn't like it there. Only got 0.7 points, 7 rushing yards.
Yeah, not good. Now, let's go to New England. Let's go to Oakland. Scott, let's talk about Oakland quick because they're terrible.
Do I have to?
You have to, yes. Only you can.
As crazy as this sounds, I stopped watching this game because we were already
terrible.
down. We were already down 17-0 before the half, and I felt a little disrespected watching it because Tom Brady decided with 30 seconds left in the first half to bring it all the way down the field to kick a field goal to make it 17-0. Why can't you just sit on the ball and go to half? I don't know why. Tom Brady has to be a dick.
Well, here's the thing. It's also Bill Belichick.
True.
It's Tom Brady. Let's get that corrected. 2, I don't like the Patriots, but I will side with them on that because you're out there to win. You don't piss
Correct.
off. You're out there to win. Now, if they were doing that at the end of the game, that would be a different story.
Right.
But you're out there to put points on the board and get the
I
lead.
just still don't like it because I don't like the Patriots. They ruined us for 15 years because the whole tuck rule crap. That was a fumble. Thank you, Charles Woodson. Love you to death. But Derek Carr only had 237 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 we'll get to, but only threw 1 interception. Not bad. Still gave you crappy points. Marshawn Lynch for the day had 1 reception on 1 target for 10 yards, and he rushed for 67. Gave you about 7.5 fantasy points. And then Amari Cooper, going down to Amari, 3 receptions on 7 targets, 28 yards, and 1 touchdown. 8, about 9 fantasy points. You wish you can get more out of these guys, but dropping the ball is the biggest thing on this team. 6 receptions on 11 targets for 51 yards for Crabtree.
Yep.
Gave you 7 points. Seth Roberts, what can I say about you? You could have done better, but you decided to fumble.
Go through the people that are actually relevant.
I'm trying.
Are you?
Yeah.
Sounds like you're going through. Sounds like you're going through nobody's. Go. Just talk about Crabtree, talk about Cooper, and let's move on from these other people. They don't matter.
Okay, but Jared Cook got 2 targets or 2 receptions on 5 targets for 36 yards.
That's not relevant.
It's my team. I can get to talk about him. Not much because we didn't only got 8 points.
We're on a time crunch here.
I know. All right, you want to talk about this super team?
I'm gonna show you how it's done.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't like them. But I'm gonna show you how to speed talk. 339 passing yards for Tom Brady. 3 touchdowns. Balled out like he probably should have, could have, would have against Oakland's poor defense. Deion Lewis found the end zone again. He had 60 rushing yards, 4 for 4, 28 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown. Figuring out. It left James White in the dust, which is crazy. But
Yeah,
I don't know
for
what
real.
to think about that. He must have made somebody mad there. But Brandon Cooks, again back involved, 9 targets, 6 receptions, 149 yards, 1 receiving touchdown, 26.9 fantasy points. Daniel Amendola, back involved, 9 targets, 8 receptions, 66 yards, and actually scored for once. Sorry, Trav, you dropped Amendola a little bit ago, and they didn't really pay off for you. Now, Steven Gostkowski, another kicker that went off, 19 fantasy points.
You did.
Craziness, man. Just craziness,
Crazy.
man. Craziness, craziness. And that's what you do it, Scott. Oh, but if you're a Gronkowski fan, disappointed. Probably 3 weeks
Relevant
ago.
players. Talk about relevant players.
Relevant?
Relevant, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good talk, Scott.
Yeah,
Glad
good
we
talk.
had it. Glad we
Yeah.
had it. Please. Doors right there. Exit stage left, please.
Gronkowski's nothing.
Let's talk Philly. Let's talk Cowboys. Well, let's talk Cowboys first because, gosh, this was a nightmare. Dak Prescott, negative 1.2 fantasy points.
Almost as bad as Nate Peterman. Or it's negative 7 points, so
Ooh.
almost there.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was there.
You were right. It was bad. But somehow, Des Bryant found his way to get 8 receptions and 63 yards. He had 14.3 fantasy points, the only double-digit fantasy point scorer there.
Yep.
In PPR score even. Awful. Alfred Morris was close. 91 rushing yards. He actually looked good. He looked very good.
And what
He was hitting the
Philly's
whole-
defense,
Boom.
against Philly's defense,
Super Saiyan. Power up to the Philadelphia Eagles, who are, what, 9-1 now?
yeah,
Crazy. Carson Wentz doing what he do. 168. Again, low yardage, but efficient. 2 touchdowns. No picks.
Dude just finds a way too.
He does. Corey Clement. 50 rushing yards.
Crazy
Touchdown.
about him.
What?
It's crazy about him. Like every week they project him to have like 5 points, and he busts out with 13 fantasy points on this night.
It's good, man. It's
crazy.
good. He figures it out. Jay Ajayi played well. 91 rushing yards. And then one reception for 10 yards. He should have got a touchdown.
Sure.
I didn't. But man, Jay Ajayi's been playing well there. He's in the perfect system for him. It's great. And there's no pressure because there's running backs all over getting involved, you know? I mean, Kenyon Barner, for some reason, gets a touchdown. Don't know. He's not relevant, but he's relevant apparently for this game.
Apparently.
Garrett Blount, not really starting him much anymore. He's only got 57 rushing yards, but they can do it all. Oh, man, they can run, pass. I mean, do it blindfolded, do it.
Look, the owner of the
Yeah.
Eagles, the owner of the Eagles right now is hella smart. Why? Because you got Nelson Eckler, you got all these wide receivers. Just in case one of them goes down, you still have good wide receivers. And then that's with the running backs too. Corey Clement, Jay Ajayi, you got Barner, and then you got Blunt. Like, just to be safe when you get into the playoffs and someone goes down, you still have more running backs.
Yep, they got running backs
That's
today.
smart. Very
They're
smart.
stacked, their team's ready, baby. Playoff team ready. Alshon Jeffrey, here we go. 467 and 1 receiving touchdown. 67, 1 receiving touchdown. He's been playing well. 18.7 fantasy points. That's great. Torrey Smith, 3-28, and then 1 receiving touchdown.
Yep. I like the outcome of this game though. That was totally helped me out.
Crazy.
Beat you.
Grand finale.
All right, I'll talk about the Falcons because that's my brother's team.
Cool. I'm going to talk about the Falcons. Matt Ryan. Got it. But still, Matt Ryan. Epic. Now you go ahead and talk about Falcons.
Okay,
I'll do the
cool.
Seahawks.
All right, so I got Matt Ryan for 195 again with kind of low
I don't understand the
yards.
single digit.
I don't know.
No, not the singles, but the sub 200
Yeah, I don't.
passing game, and the people who are doing it are winning.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see though because I mean,
Efficiency shows.
this
Efficiency.
game alone was pretty dang good to watch.
Sub 200,
So-
and yet people just blow my mind.
Right? 2 touchdowns thrown by Matt Ryan. You got Tevin Coleman that looked beast mode out there. You got 1 rushing touchdown for 43 yards. 1 reception on 2 targets for 15
Who look
yards.
beast mode real quick. I know we're talking about relevant players usually, but Teron Ward, that one run where he's like pulling people and throwing people to the ground, and it's like,
He's making a name for himself, man.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's making.
If Coleman goes down, Teron Ward's to know about.
Yep, 31 rushing yards for Ward. 1 target with 1 reception with 11 yards.
Let's see what his rushing yards for
Mohamed Sanu showed up a little bit.
Ooh,
100%. 3 receptions on 3 targets, 34 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown.
No, going back to Teron Ward. He only had 6 carries, but 31 rushing yards and 4.2 yards per carry, compared to Tevin Coleman, who was on 20 carries, only 43 rushing yards, and averaged 2.2 yards per carry. So keep in mind that lurk roll might shift.
Yeah. Good.
So
Good.
continue, my friend.
Julio could have done better. 5 receptions on 10 targets for 71 yards. And then after the game, they decided to talk to him instead of talking to Sanu. That actually got the touchdown, but go from there. Who's this tight end? Levine Tuliulio got 2 receptions on 2 targets, 31 receiving yards, and other receiving touchdown thrown by Matt Ryan.
Word.
And then again with these dang kickers this week, man.
Yeah.
Matt Bryant went off 10 points,
Word.
making all of his attempts. So
Nice. So let's move on to the Seahawks side. Russell Wilson, 258 passing yards on 26 completions, 42 attempts, 2 passing touchdowns. He did fumble, did throw a pick, but he also had 86 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. So You know, you get your 30.9 fantasy points, ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's multiversatile, obviously, with the rushing and the passing, so good for him. J.D. McKissick, 5 for 23 on receptions, 3 rushing yards, probably the best runner of the day, but man, they all look terrible.
Yep.
They're all terrible. I believe Eddie Lacy got an ankle roll on or something like that. That was an injury.
I mean,
so.
what has he done for the team?
It doesn't really matter. You're right. Doug Baldwin, 2 receptions, 40 yards, and got one of those touchdowns.
Yeah, he did.
So Paul Richardson, 5 of 56. But the person who's really matters here, guy who saved my fantasy team, single-handedly saved him. Jimmy Graham.
Graham.
7 receptions, 58 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown, 20.8 fantasy points.
Not bad, brother. Not bad.
Great!
Made you feel a little bit better at the end of the night going,
keep my win streak alive.
Yeah. Like, if you guys know, if you guys are great in fantasy football, you love it so much, that you feel like your heart is pounding because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose, or, oh, it's so close.
It's weird when you speak about it, you really shouldn't be that caught up in something that's, at the end of the day, so actually minor.
Yeah.
But it's just something to get away from the daily stresses.
Yep. Amen to that.
Work and whatever else.
Amen
You just kind of let go, you vent, you yell, you go, you just like yell at the TV, yell at the players, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's nothing personal, players.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we talk shit and we do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you guys. And we thank you for sacrificing your bodies and sacrificing your time and your life away from your family for, the entire football season, part of the off season. So thank you to the NFL, thank you to the players, the coaches, the training staff, the ball boy, everything from top down.
Easily. Yeah.
For giving us something to get our mind away. Even with the politics going on, you're still, it's like you're educating, but you're also keeping us chill, keeping us away from the realities of things.
It's something to for what we do. When it comes to Sunday football, we actually come here. This is his place, and we set up all these monitors and we set up everything to watch football. And we just chill and watch football. Look at our teams. Look how we're doing. We just hang out. We're actually in a bubble. We don't want to go out in the world and deal with other people, drunk people, this and that. We just chill as a family, hang out, go from there, and it takes the stress away. It really does.
It does. He's right. So thank you to the players. Thank you to the league. Thank you, to the people out there that support you guys, even your families and everything like that. If you have military families, thank you to them.
Thank you.
Your wife, your children, whoever, your brothers, your sisters, whoever's close to you, your grandparents. We thank them, for helping get you there.
Yeah.
So
Truth.
Appreciate it.
But
thank y'all. We're gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
So
I think we'll see you guys possibly next week.
Next week we'll go back to the Monday time. We'll do the split. This one's gonna be long, so listen through the whole 50 minutes. It's good, but next week we'll get to splitting it up 3 days. So
also,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Also, you can hit our Twitter, you can hit our Instagrams and the Facebooks and all that kind of stuff. Our stuff.
Yeah, that's all been kind of slow rolling. This is a test year, but we'll get better at that aspect of the social media part. So you can catch us, find us, listen to us, watch the videos from the beginning for how bad it was to where we're starting to go to. So thank y'all.
Thank you guys.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys, by the way.
Thanks. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
We out.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast. We're back at it again. We are your lovely hosts, Sports. You got Corey right here in this GOAT jersey.
Yeah.
You
I'm
got-
Jared. Y'all know.
And I'm Scott. Y'all know me.
Yeah, maybe.
And we're back at it this time to talk to y'all about injury notes, news, fantasy types. We won't even tell you basically guards, defensive players. I know it doesn't seem relevant, but it will be because